Astro-Vāstu Interior Design for Capricorn Rising, Makara Lagna. A Saturn-led, earth-structured spatial doctrine for stability, authority, and long-term inner strength for aware, empathic, and high-sensitivity individuals. What you are designing here is not a house. You are designing a load-bearing structure for a Saturn-ruled life. As a Capricorn rising, space either supports your ability to endure, build, and rise steadily, or it quietly erodes you through fatigue, isolation, and the sense that everything is harder than it should be. When the environment is misaligned, the symptoms are rarely emotional outbursts. They are slow, heavy, and cumulative. Chronic tiredness, emotional withdrawal, loss of motivation despite discipline, excessive self-pressure, and the feeling that responsibility never ends. Your home must never feel flimsy, chaotic, or indulgent without purpose. It must feel solid, dignified, and dependable, like something that will still be standing when life tests you. 1. First house, Lagna zone, overall spatial identity, Saturnian structural field. You should treat your Lagna zone as the foundation stone of the entire home. The moment you enter, your body must feel, I am supported here. If this zone feels light, temporary, or visually unstable, Saturn tightens internally and life begins to feel heavier than necessary. You must prioritize solidity, order, and visual gravity. Energy should settle downward and inward, not scatter. Open voids without anchoring elements make you feel exposed and unsupported. Work with grounded, mature tones: stone gray, warm taupe, muted charcoal, soft brown, or earthy beige. These colors reassure Saturn. You may introduce subtle accents in deep green or antique bronze, but avoid high contrast or trendy palettes. Trend-driven design exhausts you. Furniture here must feel weight-bearing. Solid wood, stone, or metal-framed pieces with low centers of gravity are ideal. Avoid flimsy furniture, glass-heavy elements, or anything that looks temporary. Saturn reads stability through mass. Lighting should be even, warm, neutral, and consistent. Harsh white light feels interrogative. Dim, moody lighting feels depressive. You need clarity without drama. You may place one symbol of endurance here: a stone sculpture, a mountain landscape, or an object with age and history. If you use crystals, smoky quartz or onyx placed quietly supports grounding. Avoid decorative excess. Authority comes from restraint. This zone must feel serious, not severe. Second house, main entrance and threshold security, resources and self-respect gate. Your entrance determines how safe you feel about survival and responsibility. For Capricorn rising, security is psychological before it is financial. You should favor the south or southwest for anchoring, with north as secondary support for steady growth. Flashy or overly inviting entrances create unease. You don't want to be pulled outward, you want to be held. The door should be solid, heavy, and dignified. Natural wood in darker tones, matte finishes, or stone framing works well. Avoid glossy surfaces or playful colors. Hardware should feel firm and reliable. Lighting here must be steady and practical. No dramatic spotlights or shadowy corners. Shadows at the threshold translate into subconscious fear of instability. Keep this space minimal and disciplined. One grounding element, a heavy mat, paired planters, or a single structured object is enough. If you use crystals, hematite, or black tourmaline, placed discreetly supports containment. Avoid clutter, mirrors facing the door, or decorative excess. This zone should communicate, you are protected, and nothing is demanded of you here. Number 3. Third house, living room authority in interaction and measured engagement. This space governs how you interact without depletion. If it is chaotic, loud, or emotionally charged, you retreat socially and carry unnecessary loneliness. You should design this area to feel composed and intentional. Use muted neutrals, warm grays, soft browns, deep beige, or subdued olive. Avoid playful palettes or overstimulation. Furniture should be arranged with purpose. Clear sightlines, structured seating, and defined zones help Saturn relax. Avoid overly casual or sprawling layouts that lack hierarchy. Lighting must be layered and controlled. Overhead lighting should be soft. Task and accent lighting should be functional. You don't thrive in theatrical ambiance. You may include objects that signal experience, books, artifacts, meaningful art, but only what reflects lived authority, not aspiration. Saturn respects what is earned. When aligned, presence feels calm, grounded, and quietly commanding. For fourth house, inner core emotional containment and long-term rest. This is where your endurance is replenished. If this space is wrong, you carry the world alone far longer than you should. You should design this zone for predictability and deep grounding. Use earthy tones, clay, stone, warm brown, muted rust, or deep taupe. These colors allow emotional weight to settle safely. Furniture must be comfortable, familiar, and substantial. This is not a design showcase. This is where you finally set things down. Lighting should be warm, steady, and non-negotiable in its consistency. Flicker, dramatic dimming, or smart light theatrics disturb Saturn deeply. You may include objects with history, family items, heirlooms, or personal symbols of continuity. These are emotional anchors, not clutter. Avoid mirrors, echoing acoustics, or empty expanses. This zone must feel held, not hollow. Core Capricorn AstroVastu law. Structure creates safety. Safety creates endurance. Endurance creates success. When your home feels solid, restrained, and reliable, Saturn expresses as mastery, authority, resilience, and quiet achievement. When your space feels unstable, trendy, or emotionally noisy, Saturn turns into exhaustion, isolation, and relentless self-pressure. This is not minimalist decor. This is structural psychology for a Saturn-led life. 5. Fifth house, confidence, creativity, and earned pride. This is where you learn how to enjoy what you build without guilt. For Capricorn Rising, joy is not spontaneous indulgence. It is the quiet sanction of mastery. If this zone is treated as playful, chaotic, or purely decorative, you may notice creativity drying up or confidence turning brittle. Saturn does not relax in spaces that feel unserious. You should design this area to feel disciplined yet rewarding. Use warm earth tones with subtle richness. Deep beige, cocoa, muted gold, forest green, or aged leather tones. These colors allow pride to emerge without ego. Furniture should support focused engagement. A solid desk, a structured chair, or a defined creative corner. Avoid overly casual seating that invites collapse rather than expression. Creativity for you comes through effort, not excess comfort. Lighting should be clear and directional. This is not a candle-heavy or moody zone. Saturn needs visibility to feel safe enjoying itself. You may enhance this space with tools of skill, musical instruments, craft tools, books, or projects in progress. What matters is use, not display. If you work with crystals, a small tiger's eye or smoky quartz placed discreetly supports confidence through competence. When aligned, creativity feels purposeful, pride feels earned, and joy no longer feels irresponsible. 6. Sixth house, kitchen and sustained capacity. This zone governs your ability to keep going without breaking. For Capricorn Rising, food and routine directly affect endurance, mood, and long-term health. You should keep the kitchen practical, clean, and grounded. Favor neutral, earthy colors, warm white, stone gray, soft taupe, muted olive. Avoid stark white kitchens that feel sterile or dark palettes that feel oppressive. The layout must be efficient. Everything you use daily should be easy to reach. Struggling in this space translates directly into frustration and physical fatigue. Lighting must be bright and functional. Shadows over work surfaces increase irritation and bodily tension. You should keep this space disciplined. Clean countertops, functional storage, no emotional clutter. Copper or iron cookware supports Saturn's steady fire. Avoid treating the kitchen as a dumping ground or decorative showpiece. When aligned, routines stabilize, health improves slowly, and effort feels sustainable rather than draining. 7. Seventh house, master bedroom restoration, partnership, and authority at rest. This is one of the most critical zones for Capricorn Rising. If this space is wrong, you never truly stop carrying responsibility. You should design the bedroom to feel deeply grounding and secure. Use calm, mature tones, warm grays, taupe, soft brown, muted blue-gray. Avoid bright colors, sharp contrasts, or playful themes. The bed must be heavy, solid, and well-supported. A strong headboard is essential. Saturn needs something to lean against. Symmetry on both sides of the bed supports equality and trust. Lighting must be low, warm, and predictable. Overhead lighting should be soft and rarely used. Bedside lamps are preferable. Natural fabrics are essential. Avoid synthetic textures that feel restless to the body. Mirrors should never face the bed. Reflection here creates subconscious vigilance. When aligned, sleep deepens, emotional walls soften, and relationships feel steady rather than demanding. 8. Eighth house, storage, burdens, and hidden weight. This zone governs what you carry silently. For Capricorn Rising, clutter here equals invisible pressure. You must keep this area orderly, closed, and intentional. Open storage creates subconscious anxiety about unfinished responsibilities. Use neutral, grounding colors: stone, charcoal, beige. Avoid dramatic or symbolic decor here. You should regularly audit this space. Anything broken, unused, or emotionally heavy must be released. Saturn carries enough without reminders of old burdens. Enhance with simple systems: boxes, labels, shelves. If you use crystals, black tourmaline or hematite placed discreetly supports release and containment. When this zone is aligned, pressure lifts quietly, endurance increases, and you feel less alone carrying your life. 9. Ninth house. Law, meaning, and long-range vision. This is where your effort either makes sense or slowly starts to feel pointless. For Capricorn Rising, belief is not abstract. It is the reason you are willing to carry weight over time. If this zone is neglected, overly casual, or visually cynical, you may notice motivation thinning and resentment creeping in, even when life appears successful. You should design this area to feel principled and intentional. Use dignified, restrained colors: warm taupe, parchment, soft stone, muted navy, or charcoal softened with light. These tones support respect for time, law, and structure without heaviness. Furniture should feel formal enough to command respect: a firm chair, a clean desk, a bookshelf with order. This is not a lounging zone. It is where you reaffirm why discipline matters. Lighting must be clear and steady. Dimness here translates into loss of faith in systems, mentors, or long-term plans. You may include symbols of lineage, mentors, teachings, or philosophies that you genuinely live by. Avoid decorative spirituality. Saturn responds to lived ethics, not slogans. When aligned, effort feels justified, authority feels earned, and patience strengthens rather than hardens. 10th house. Work zone, authority, and visible output. This is your command room. For Capricorn Rising, this space directly affects career stability, reputation, and self-respect. You should design this zone for clarity, hierarchy, and measurable progress. Neutral, professional tones work best: warm gray, beige, muted brown, stone, with one restrained power accent if needed. Furniture must be solid and ergonomic. A strong desk, upright seating, and clear work surfaces are essential. Slouch-inducing furniture weakens authority. Lighting should be bright, focused, and practical. Poor lighting here directly translates into career frustration and feeling unseen. You may place limited symbols of achievement: certificates, awards, credentials, but only a few. Too many turn pride into pressure. When aligned, work feels steady, authority stabilizes, and progress compounds quietly. 11th house. Systems, support, and long-term returns. This zone governs whether your effort is supported or carried alone. Capricorn does not need praise, it needs reliable systems. You should keep this space open, ordered, and functional. Use calm neutrals with subtle warmth. Avoid overly social or decorative themes. Furniture should support planning and coordination rather than entertainment. This is a system zone, not a party zone. Lighting should be even and practical. Visual clarity here supports trust in networks and institutions. You may enhance this space with planning tools, calendars, or long-term goal boards kept clean and realistic. Saturn prefers timelines over visions. When aligned, support becomes dependable, gains arrive slowly but surely, and self-respect deepens. 12th house. Silence, acceptance, and time. This zone teaches you Saturn's deepest lesson. You are allowed to rest even when nothing is finished. You should design this space to be quiet, minimal, and emotionally neutral. Use soft grays, warm off-white, pale beige, or stone. Avoid strong symbolism or emotional decor. Furniture should be minimal and comfortable without inviting collapse. This is a decompression zone, not escapism. Lighting must be indirect and gentle. Harsh light here disrupts sleep and inner peace. You may include one grounding object: a stone, a simple artwork, or a quiet texture, nothing more. When aligned, pressure eases, sleep deepens, and endurance renews itself without bitterness. Saturn does not demand suffering, it demands respect for time. When your space supports structure, silence, and integrity, Capricorn Rising experiences quiet authority, unshakable self-respect, and the ability to carry life without being crushed by it.